Good morning to the students of 11th B and 11th C. We have a combined class today. And today I'll be doing writing skills with you all. We'll be doing a letter of inquiry. And in the next period, we'll start off with the introduction of the chapter, the Silk Road. So before I start off with the letter of inquiry, I just want to discuss the test that we had shared in the classroom. And yes, the test was of Mother's Day. And what was it? The poem, Childhood. So one question was that what were the things that were noticed about Mrs. Pearson, the strange things that were noticed about Mrs. Pearson. What was it that the family members noticed? Yes. So they noticed that she was not obeying their orders, as they have all been used to giving her orders. She did not have the tea ready, and she was criticizing them about their behavior, about the way they are leading their lives, isn't it? So she was very rude. They saw her that she was smoking, and she had a drink, a stout in her hand. And yes, so there was something very different about her behavior. So the family could not actually pinpoint what it was, but they did notice that yes, something is missing about mother. There is something wrong about her today. There's something different, not wrong, I would say. And in fact, yes, so Cyril and Doris, they start making guesses also. Did she fall down? Did she hit her head? What has happened to her? That why she's talking like this? Why is she behaving like this? So these are the things that were noticed about her, the strange behavior here. Next was that what were the things that Mrs. Pearson asked her family to do? What were the things that she wanted as a mother? You know, it is not every day you expect recognition, or you get a bouquet, or you get a card and all, right? So that we say we keep it for one day in a year, isn't it? Right? But what were the things that she wanted? She wanted that when they came back from work, they should also realize that she has also put in enough hours of hard work. And she wanted her family members to cooperate with her, to help her when she was there making the meals or doing the household chores. So she needed some help from them. And secondly, she also wanted that once in a while, at least, yes, she would want to sit down and have a talk with her family. And she wanted to have a game of cards. So they were not big demands that mother had made, little things that she had asked them to do, right? So I think so these demands, they could be fulfilled. So mother had not made an extraordinary list, isn't it? Now, one question was that what have we learned, or why is it not possible to find hell and heaven? So what does it teach us about life? This was from the poem Childhood. So why is it difficult to find hell and heaven? Because they do not exist, right? And naturally, how can we find a place which is not there? These are things, or which have been created by our elders, by our ancestors, to tell us, yes, about the right and the wrong, to make us be morally good people, and to distinguish between what is right and wrong. So we are unable to locate that. You can't find hell and heaven on a map. You will not find it in your atlas, and neither does your geography teacher teach you about hell and heaven. So that means it does not exist. So when a child realizes that I have not learned about this, nobody has taught about this in my life, I've not found it in my books, it's not in my lessons. So that means it is not something worth learning about, is it? Or it is something which has not been proven. So it is when you realize, when you start thinking between what is right, between what is wrong, what kind of thinking do we call that? Yes, what does a child develop when he is able to recognize that there is no hell and heaven? Yes, very nice, Harshika, absolutely correct. It is rational thinking. Harshika, did you send me a test? Yes, did you? Okay, right. So I had expected a lot of responses from your class, and I am a little disappointed. right? So anyway, of course, it is your loss if you people are not here sincere and making efforts. And I have given you that liberty also. I've given you the liberty that when you are over with your tuitions, then you can send me the test, right? So much of freedom of time I have given you, enough hours we have given you. So make sure that next time I share a test, I want maximum response from you all. Okay, so please participate. This is also part of learning. So just sitting and learning, listening to the lecture is not enough. How much have you understood? This is our feedback. We know how interactive you are in the online classes. You know that yourself, isn't it? What responses you give and what you tell. So when we share these tests, we want a feedback from you all, right? So this is an assessment of your responses. Now, yes, so these 3 questions I had shared with you in the test. And so now we're going to start with letter writing. All of you, please keep your notebooks ready and let us write a letter. What all other things do we have to do in our writing skills? Yes, this is something, right? Don't look at the other questions. They're not meant for you. We are going to do only the first one. First question that is for you all. So please look at the question. What is the question? You are Nidhi Das or Nandan Das, science teacher of Arise Academy 432 Defence Colony, Amritsar. Your school has been invited to participate in the interstate science exhibition at Bloom Public School, 785 Najafgarh, Amritsar. Write a letter of inquiry to the coordinator of Bloom Public School, inquiring about the details of the exhibition. So we are going to write letters of inquiry to schools, to higher authority, right? So seeking information, and that is what a letter of inquiry is. A letter of inquiry is seeking information, right? Now, yes, so we have to start writing this letter. What are the things that you need to remember? Yes, here, please tell me. What are the things you need to remember? Yes? Yes, absolutely correct. We have to ask our questions. Yes. And right. Okay. Letter of inquiry is you're asking questions and the information that you want to seek. Now here it is, the information is about an exhibition. We know it's about a science exhibition, right? And you have the address here. Whom are you writing to? Whom are you writing the letter to? You're writing the letter to the coordinator. What is it? Bloom Public School, Amritsar. Write the date here. And yes, here it is, Arise Academy. It is Amritsar. Okay, this is your format. What is your subject? What is the subject? Yes, what will be the subject? Inquiry about right? So it is inquiry about science subject, a science exhibition. So as we know, whenever we write a formal letter, what are the things that we need to remember? What are the different ways in which you're going to distribute your content? This time for your test, I am going to give you writing skills. Okay, so maybe a poster and a letter. That's it. Right? So here, let us start with our revision of all the writing skills. So what are we going to do? First of all, you will be giving your introduction. Right? that we have received an invitation to participate in the science exhibition being organized by your school, right? Then we're going to start seeking information, right? So we are going to ask this information. So generally, yes, we would have written it in the points, but those queries, how are you going to present them? Those queries you are going to write in the form of a paragraph, okay? Now, if it is queries about science exhibition, what do you think could be our inquiries regarding the science exhibition, right? Can you give me hints as to what we can write? I've given my introduction, right? My purpose of writing is to make inquiries about the exhibition, right? What queries would I have about the exhibition? Yes? What queries would be there? Right? We can ask about the duration of the, right? The date of the exhibition, the duration of the exhibition. So for the science exhibition, yes, I have science students with me also today. So can you tell me, for the science exhibition, you will be asking, yes, what is the topic, or is there any theme? Right? It could be environment, it could be, health, right? It could be artificial intelligence, any topic it could be, right? And then when we do participate in an exhibition, we make models, right? Or is it going to be a chart presentation? No. So yes, so we have even presentations also in science exhibitions. You have to make a graphic representation of the topic that has been asked, and you have to speak about it. You have to discuss it also. That is one way, right? It could also be, yes, what about it? Is it the models you have to make? What kind of models do we make for science exhibitions? What kind of models do we make for science exhibitions? Can anybody tell me? What kind of models? You have working models, you have still models, isn't it? And when you are there participating in a science exhibition, which kind of model do you think is going to give a better impact? Which is going to make a good impression? Yes, a working model, very good. Yeah, so right, okay, right? Yes, then I can also ask about how many entries I can make, or about the category. Isn't it? I can make a query regarding this also. Yes, then of course, along with the duration and the date, I can also ask about registration. Right? Yes, entries, category, I can ask about the number of participants also. Now we have the points ready. Yeah, prizes and all that way. So how many categories are there for 6th to 8th, 9th to 12th, these kinds of categories you have, right, that way. And now can we frame these points in questions? How are we going to ask these questions? Because when you're making inquiries, you're seeking information, you're going to ask questions there, because you have doubts, you know, you're clarifying your doubts. Inquiry is that only, right? So tell me the information regarding this. So what are we going to ask? How can I frame these points in questions? That is the purpose of writing a letter of inquiry. You are not writing it in your paragraphs. You will not put them in points. That is the last resort. Arey yaad nahi aa raha kya format tha inquiry ka. Okay, let me make these points. Right? Fine. But what we have discussed in class, what we have told you, and I know that you are very attentive students, are we? Right? So we're going to put these as questions. So right, so after introduction, so yes, so I would like to know, right, or I have certain queries regarding the science exhibition, and I would be thankful if you would clarify my doubts, right? So what is the you can say duration, or when will this exhibition be conducted? What would be its duration and timings? 1 point. Okay. Next, how will you ask about the topic and theme? Yes. So what is the topic of the science exhibition, right? And what kind of entries are required? Do we have to submit working models or a presentation on the given topic? Supposing we have given you a topic already. So it's about energy, right? So you can take up any aspect of energy. Is it about energy conservation? What else is there? Is it about various forms of energy production? Isn't it about the future? Whatever it is, there are so many things that you can discuss about, isn't it, right? We have science students. Again, I'm saying that because I'm not getting any response from the science students. And science students, I thought they were very inquisitive, right? That means my class is better any day, right? So 11C, you can clap for yourself. Yeah, you're better at giving responses. Whether it is 3 students giving a response, at least I get a response. Yes, yes, yes. So we're clapping for ourselves. Right. Now, what about it? Yes. So what about the entries here? How can we participate, or what is the topic for the exhibition? Isn't it? Right. Then, of course, yes, how many students can participate, right? And how many entries are there per category, right? So if you have various categories there, you have for different classes, you have a different category here. So how many participants per, a category, right? And yes, so can we, is it compulsory for the same students to come for the next day? If you've, they have told you, right, maybe beforehand in the circular that the exhibition would be of 2 days or 3 days. And, for one child, maybe for taking out 3 days, it would be a little difficult. Also studies also, right? So all those things here that you can ask about. And yes, what about the participation, and what about the certificates? How many prizes are going to be given? And yes, what is the next round after this exhibition? So is it the Sahodaya level exhibition? Is it a zonal exhibition? Is the next is district? You're going for the state level, right? Yes. Or you're going at the All India CBSE level participation, whatever is there are so many things that you can ask, and so many things you can put in when you are seeking information. Okay, right? Now here I have to remember, I have to make these queries in the form of a question, right? Yes. And you know that how wonderful you are at your writing skills, isn't it? Right? So there is a need of lot of practice. So we're doing what questions you can ask. So when is the exhibition? What are the timings? What is the theme? This way you can ask. Yes. Could you shed some light? Right? These are the different ways I would like to know. Right? So these are the different ways you can ask the questions. Right? And then you've asked all the questions here, whatever questions there are to be asked about the competition and all this. So how are you going to conclude your letter? How are you going to conclude your letter? That I would be thankful or grateful if you could supply me the information at the earliest possible date, so that our school can participate in this prestigious exhibition, right? Or that we can send our entries on time. And yes, how do you will ask, right, for a request for an early response, isn't it? This is what you're supposed to do. Then how are you going to sign off? Yours truly, give your name, ABC, right? So then you can say the HOD science, right? Is it visible? Can you see? Okay, so these are little things that you have to remember. So those of you who joined late, you can look at the question. I'll share the question in the group also, so that you have a practice. Okay, right? Any doubts, any queries? Look at the question once again. I have noticed a few of you have joined late, so you can just have a look at the question. So what is the question that we are discussing? That is, you have to write, look, you read this question, please, quietly. You are quiet, of course, right? So attentively read the question. And your school has been invited to participate in the interstate science exhibition at Bloom Public School, right? So write a letter of inquiry. All these queries you will be asking: what is the duration? When is it? What is the topic? How many entries you can make, right? Where it is going to be conducted? Is it in this school or somewhere else, right? Who is coordinating? How many entries can be there? How many students can participate? So all these queries you will be making, okay? Noted down the question? Yes. So any doubts, any questions, anyone? No one?